Well, as I mentioned at the top of the service, today we're celebrating Jesus' ascension into heaven. As we heard in today's gospel reading, Jesus is enveloped in a cloud and he's lifted up into the heavens as the apostles look up in astonishment. There are so many beautiful and famous works of art depicting this moment of Jesus' ascension. But did it really happen this way? Did the apostles really see Jesus bodily rise and disappear up into the clouds? Did Jesus really defy the law of gravity? One of the leading theologians of our time, Bishop John Shelby Spong, asks somewhat sarcastically, "Do you suppose Jesus went up past the moon and perhaps turned left at Mars?" And Father Richard Rohr, another progressive Christian theologian, tells us that we shouldn't believe in some rocket ship Jesus, that this isn't some beam me up Scotty moment. Remember, the stories of the Bible are not meant to be understood literally. They're meant to be understood symbolically, spiritually. John Dominic Crossan, who was part of the famous Jesus Seminar, explains it this way. He says, "My point isn't that the ancient people told stories literally, and now we're smart enough to understand them symbolically. My point is that the ancient people told stories symbolically, and now we're dumb enough to understand them literally." Now, is it possible that Jesus defied the law of gravity? Sure. All things are possible with God. But today we're not just celebrating some supernatural miracle that may or may not have happened to a man from Nazareth more than 2,000 years ago. The ascension, you see, is about us. It symbolizes the spiritual ascension that takes place in us right here and right now when we allow the Spirit of the divine to envelop us and lift us up so that we can enter into the kingdom of heaven. So where is the kingdom of heaven? Well, Jesus had a lot to say about the kingdom of heaven, but he never once said it was a place up in the clouds that we go to after we die. He said, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It is here and now. And he said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. God's dwelling place is not up there or out there. It is in here. That's where Jesus ascended, back into God's dwelling place. And that is the purpose of the spiritual journey for us, to ascend into the kingdom, to rise in consciousness, not in the next life, but in this one. Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines the word ascension as the process of rising to a higher or more powerful position. Our spiritual ascension, my friends, is a process. Our rising in consciousness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. I've shared with you before how the number 40 appears over and over again in the Bible. Moses is on top of Mount Sinai for 40 days and nights. Jonah is in Nineveh for 40 days and nights. In the Noah's Ark story, it rains for 40 days and nights. And Jesus spent 40 days and nights alone in the wilderness before beginning his ministry. The number 40 in the Bible is not a literal number, but a symbolic period of time. It symbolizes the time it takes for the workings of the Spirit to be made manifest. It's why the church celebrates Lent 40 days before Easter and the Ascension 40 days after Easter. It's a process, and we are part of that process. We are here to ascend spiritually, to rise in consciousness so that we can be free. In his book, Spiritual Liberation, Reverend Michael Beckwith describes the 4 stages of spiritual consciousness. The first stage he describes as the to-me state. Most people on the planet are in this first stage of consciousness, a victim state. They believe that everything is happening to them, that they are victims of circumstance. They say things like, "Why is this happening to me?" But as we ascend spiritually, as we rise in consciousness, we realize that we are not victims, that we have the power within us to change our circumstances. We then move into what Beckwith calls the by me state of consciousness, that life doesn't happen to me, but by me. In this second stage, we discover that when we change our thoughts, we change our lives. And that's a wonderful discovery and a wonderful place to be, but we're only halfway there. Stage 3 is the through me stage. This is the stage of surrender, where we stop trying to control things and just allow God to work through us so that we become instruments of peace and channels of grace. But there's still one more stage. This fourth and final stage is known as the as me state, where I and the Father, I and the Mother become one. God as me, one and the same. This is the state of consciousness that was achieved by Jesus and other ascended masters. So how do we know if we're ascending? How do we know if we're progressing on the spiritual path, if we're rising in consciousness? Well, I recently came across the 12 symptoms of spiritual awakening, and they are an increased tendency to let things happen rather than make them happen, frequent attacks of smiling, feelings of being connected with others and nature, frequent overwhelming episodes of appreciation, a tendency to think and act spontaneously rather than from fears based on past experience, an unmistakable ability to enjoy each moment, a loss of ability to worry, a loss of interest in conflict, a loss of interest in interpreting the actions of others, a loss of interest in judging others, a loss of interest in judging self, gaining the ability to love without expecting anything in return. My friends, despite what you may be hearing, the human race is rising in consciousness. More and more people are awakening. So do not be discouraged. Keep rising. For as we rise, we lift up the world, helping others to ascend and bringing about the kingdom of heaven right here on earth.